You love them. You hate them. Your heart burns and your gut churns in their proximity. Welcome to the world of karmic relationships. 1 second you're laughing, the next, you're screaming at each other. 1 minute you embrace, the next, you swear you could kill them. And yet, despite the ups and downs, you always seem to get pulled back into the sticky honey-like spider web of your relationship with them. We all experience at least one karmic relationship in life. It's part of our spiritual calling. But the question is, how do we know if a certain relationship is karmic? What's the purpose of karmic relationships? And is it healthy to stay in one or not? Tracing its origins back to ancient Eastern philosophy, a karmic relationship describes a connection between two people that has rekindled in this life from a past life. For whatever reason, the relationship we had in that past incarnation carries unfinished business and unresolved issues. Thus, in this lifetime, we're tasked with clearing that karma for the enrichment and evolution of the soul. Another way of putting it is that karmic relationships are bonds created between the souls of individuals who, before being born into this world, agreed to work their shit out. Also known as creating a soul contract. Whether you believe in reincarnation or not, karmic relationships, at the very least, can be seen as opportunities to learn major life lessons. And no, karmic relationships don't just occur between lovers, they're also found among friends, family members, children, and even colleagues. Here are 19 signs plus stages you're in a karmic relationship. We've all seen karmic relationships play out in literature and mythology before. Romeo and Juliet, Tristan and Isolde, Catherine and Heathcliff, all of these karmic stories teach us something. But it can be hard to know whether we're in a karmic relationship or not. And if so, what to do next? Here are some helpful signs to look out for, written primarily for those in karmic romantic relationships. But please note that not all karmic relationships are romantic. 1. Irresistibly drawn to them. The moment you met, you both had an instant connection. It was as if you were magnetized to each other. It all felt so mysterious and predestined. You either hated or loved them at first, there was no middle ground. 2. They're addictive. As you got to know them, you fell further down the rabbit hole. Something about them was intoxicating, like an addictive mixture of chocolate, wine, and heroin. You just can't get enough of them. Staying away feels like going through drug withdrawal. 3. Experiencing a roller coaster of emotions. The more time you spend around them, the more your emotional life is sent into a tailspin. You swing between love, hate, lust, disgust, laughter, and rage. The highs are very high, and the lows are very low. 4. Constant drama. As your emotions bounce up and down, so does the relationship. You both seem to attract or create drama and play out unconscious games with each other. 5. Something feels off. Your gut instincts begin to kick in and a feeling of heaviness, discomfort, or dread sits at the pit of your stomach. Deep down, you can't shake away the feeling that something is terribly off in your relationship. You try to ignore this feeling, dismissing it as paranoia or silliness. 6. You don't feel safe. Being authentically vulnerable with them feels scary genuinely. Can they be trusted with your precious heart? In truth, you don't know if you can really trust them due to their track record. When you do open up, they can't hold space for you. They're either too wound up in their own problems or they flat out reject you. In the end, you don't feel safe enough to be your full self around them. 7. The sex is amazing. Sexually, you have a hot, intense, and wild connection. You've never experienced such amazing sex in your life. And yet afterwards, something feels lacking. The connection is deliciously carnal, but also addictive as it keeps you stuck in the same old place. 8. Repetitive cycles and patterns. The same negative patterns keep popping up no matter how much you think you've worked through them together. Either they are not holding up their side of the relationship or you aren't. For instance, if one of you has had an affair, chances are that it has happened multiple times, and will continue. Even small irritations keep emerging in increasingly provocative and infuriating ways. 9. Communication issues. Let's face it, the two of you aren't the best communicators. There's a lot of unspoken assumptions, prejudice, judgment, and skipping to conclusions quickly. When you've tried to communicate openly, it just hasn't worked the way you intended, no matter how much you try. 10. Anger and rage. At any given time, the two of you are like matches just waiting to be lit. One of you will tend to bottle up that anger, which turns into rage, and the other tends to explode whenever irritations occur. You both have a special way of pushing each other's buttons. 11. They bring out the worst in you. Despite the fact that they bring out the worst in you, you can't imagine life without them. You just don't want to let go. 12. Energy drain and exhaustion. Being in this relationship is tiring. You feel mentally and emotionally drained around them, but chances are that you blame yourself for these feelings. The truth is that if you feel perpetually exhausted, the process of letting go has already been initiated. The relationship just isn't destined to last, and you'll eventually feel compelled to leave. 13. Your morals and values are tested. You tolerate behavior from them that you would never stand for in another person. Perhaps you enable one of their addictions or you adopt shady ethics. Whatever the case, your character is being tested. What are you willing to put up with? Where do you draw the line? At what point do you say no? 14. Self-sabotage and self-destructiveness. Strangely, it's as if you're both drawn to try and sabotage each other's happiness. It might be a sarcastic offhanded comment or a full-blown act of malice. The result is that you often feel like competitors, not a supportive team. There is an underlying darkness to your connection, and one, or both, of you tend to become more self-destructive. 15. One-sided codependency. Deep down, you feel that your happiness depends solely on their happiness. Whatever they say, think, or feel about you is immediately taken as the gospel truth. While you give, they take, or vice versa. And ultimately, your entire sense of self-worth is based on the way they behave. 16. Things begin to stagnate. At some point, you feel stuck. Your relationship feels like it's stranded in a thick pit of tar. You try to take 2 steps forward but are drawn 10 steps back. Anger, bitterness, anxiety, and depression soon follow. You are terrified of leaving this relationship, but it feels dead. You don't know what to do. 17. Intense desire for answers. Fragile, exhausted, and disconnected, you begin searching for answers. Why does this relationship bring you so much pain? How can you resolve your issues together? As you begin soul-searching, you start evolving. You begin drawing back a sense of self-sovereignty. In many ways, you're starting to evolve to the next level, yet this means you need to leave them behind. A split between desire for staying and desire for leaving builds within you. 18. Struggle to let go. In all truth, you know that this relationship is unhealthy for you. Yet you can't release the idea that you're destined to be together forever. And besides, going out on your own feels frightening and overwhelming. You may decide to leave, but again, you're drawn back to them. The seductive and toxic cycle continues. While some people can cut the cord and end the soul contract, others keep repeating the holding on letting go cycle many times before emotional liberation. 19. Reconnecting with love and letting go. Eventually, the lessons have been learned. The karma has been cleared. Through the power of love, forgiveness, and a solid dose of boundary setting, you are able to surrender and let go of your karmic relationship. This process might happen in your lifetime or in a future one depending on how much inner work occurs. Karmic relationships can happen between us and partners, parents, children, friends, or anyone, in fact, who is part of our life. These relationships offer tremendous illumination and the opportunity for spiritual evolution. But growing the soul is often an arduous and perilous adventure. And yet, Like many things in life, karmic relationships are both tragic and beautiful pointers to our true essence that flourishes through the power of love.